on SportsCenter. New developments and reactions today after Kyle Lowry was shoved by a front row fan who's actually a Warriors investor. Plus, now that Kevin Durant is out for Game 4 of the NBA Finals, what are the chances Klay Thompson is really ready to play Friday night? Plus, a Woj bomb that could shake up NBA free agency, detailing the significant trade that could open the door for Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant to team up in Brooklyn. And the best of Tom Brady today, answering questions about the last year of his contract and the controversy over the nickname Tom Terrific. This is SportsCenter.
Win Game 6 and then celebrate. Fun times ahead.
Here's Kevin Nagandi and Sage Steele, live from Oakland.
Hello, live from Oakland, California, where Kevin Durant has been announced out for Game 4. There was hope that his calf strain would be recovered enough for him to play in Game 4, but instead, he will indeed miss his 9th straight game. As for Klay Thompson, he is expected to play tomorrow night. Apparently, it was a close call last night as Klay Thompson was all but begging coaches and trainers to let him play, but instead they gave his hamstring a rest, and Klay sat out as the Warriors lost and are now down 2-1 in this 2019 NBA Finals series. With that, I say hello to you, Kevin Nagandi, from beautiful Oakland, California, where it has been quite the day. Much more to come on the injury news related to the two-time defending champions. However, what happened last night at Oracle Arena was simply unprecedented, and the fallout continues.
It sure does, Sage. We start with breaking news here on SportsCenter. The NBA's banned the fan who shoved the Raptors guard Kyle Lowry last night for 1 year and fined him $500,000. That fan turns out to be Warriors investor Mark Stevens. The incident occurred early in the fourth quarter of Game 3. Here's the video featuring Lowry trying to save a loose ball. As Lowry tries to get up, 2 seats over, he gets shoved on the left shoulder by Stevens. Lowry claims Stevens cursed at him several times. We found out this morning that Stevens is a part of a 6-member Warriors executive board. And before the NBA ban this afternoon, the Warriors had suspended Stevens from all team activities. Mark Schwartz in Oakland has more on what exactly Stevens said to Lowry after shoving him.
Kyle Lowry says that Warriors investor Mark Stevens not only shoved him, but told him multiple times to, quote, blank himself.
I mean, I was furious. I'm not going to lie. I was pretty upset, and Marc Gasol and kind of came into me, look, kind of, come on, we need you, kind of come back, kind of, they'll handle it. And Freddie and Kawhi and those guys, Danny, kind of, like, don't try to come back here. We need you.
These fans are coming out, watching the game, they feel like they're on their team, and they're competitive as well, probably a little bit under the influence, and things like that happen. We seen, this ain't the first time we've seen something like that.
There's no room for in our game for that. In that situation, I don't think I could have handled it any better. I'm glad I did what I did, and understanding that things could have been a lot different if I reacted a different way.
Lowry says he was appalled to learn that it was Mark Stevens, a venture capitalist and billionaire investor in the Warriors, who was his assailant.
I mean, I knew it would be a big deal, but I didn't know it would be as big of a deal as him being a part of the group that, writes the checks, and that makes it even more of a place where he should know.
I don't necessarily think it was a reflection of how we handle business here. As a Warriors organization and franchise, we have a high standard and do things with class and professionalism. And I know Mark is apologetic and whatnot, but we'll handle that situation. Like I said, the organization is going to do that.
I don't care who he is. It doesn't matter if he had $1 billion or $0. There's no room for that.
A guy like that shouldn't be a part of our league. Being honest with you, that's my personal opinion. That's just how I feel.
If the NBA doesn't figure it out, I think the Players Association may take it into their own hands, or our team. Who knows? We might get a petition so you can pay the fines and pay us.
Lowry says he hasn't heard from Stevens, nor does he have any interest in hearing from him. It could have gone the other way, he explained, but I'm bigger than him as a person, and my kids are more important to me than he is. In Oakland, I'm Mark Schwartz, ESPN.
The Warriors issued a statement before the one-year NBA ban this afternoon saying, quote, Mr. Stevens' behavior last night did not reflect the high standards that we hope to exemplify as an organization. We're extremely disappointed in his actions and, along with Mr. Stevens, offer our sincere apology to Kyle Lowry and the Toronto Raptors organization for this unfortunate misconduct. There is no place for such interaction between fans or anyone and players at an NBA game. Sage has much more reaction from Oakland. Sage?
Hey, Kevin. Yes, joined now by Brian Windhorst. And Brian, we've been talking all day about this. The first thing that stood out to me is that it didn't take any time for the Golden State Warriors to react, and then the league took it to another level. What's your reaction to all of this?
Yeah, less than 24 hours. They acted swiftly. I think LeBron James, who spoke on this on Instagram today, he hasn't really commented at all. He said, what would you feel if it was the inverse, if Kyle Lowry had made contact with a Warriors team owner? What would happen to Kyle Lowry? And I don't think anything could be said that's more appropriate than the way LeBron put it. So they did, and they acted right away. I do think it's appropriate. I know that some people want him never to be seen again, but I do think because this was a heat-of-the-moment thing, that was taken into account. But he also was fined harsher than a normal fan would have been because he got the fine as well because he is attached to the organization. I definitely think that the NBA has led the league, led the way here in you know, coming down with fan behavior. This is something that's been getting a little bit worse recently. We saw a fan in Utah earlier this year, you know, get involved with Russell Westbrook, who was banned for life. So what I really appreciate is the NBA acted so quickly.
And even if it's friendly fire, so to speak, with Drake, Adam Silver has talked about this, where there needs to be some lines established no matter who you are rooting for, no matter what. So we'll see how this plays out, but I agree, so far so good as far as how everyone handled this as swiftly as possible. Brian, stand by. Much more to come, including this breaking news. Kevin?
Yeah, from breaking news to a developing story, says the NBA Finals off day featuring a trade that could play a big role this summer. Adrian Wojnarowski is reporting that the Nets are trading Allen Crabbe, their 17th pick in the 2019 NBA draft, and a protected first in 2020 to the Hawks for Taurean Prince and a 2021 second-round pick. And Woj joins us now here live on SportsCenter. Adrian, what's the motivation here for the Nets on this trade?
Kyrie Irving. This gives the Nets now 2 max salary slots in July free agency. They cleared $18 million with this trade, and giving up 2 future first-round picks 3 weeks out from free agency, it speaks to a level of confidence in Brooklyn that not only can they attract 1 star free agent, but maybe 2. Kyrie Irving, I'm told, absolutely has a serious interest in the Brooklyn Nets. And now there's a window of time that if Kyrie Irving wanted to recruit another star to Brooklyn with him, that max slot is available and he can slide right in. And you know who Brooklyn wants. They want the same pairing that the New York Knicks want. That's Kyrie Irving and Kevin Durant.
Oh, battle in the Big Apple. We'll see how this plays out. Meanwhile, the Hawks now have 3 picks, 8, 10, and 17 overall in the top 20 of the 2019 NBA draft. Woj, thank you so much. Let's go back to Sage.
Thanks, Kevin.
All right, Kevin, here's a reminder that Kevin Durant, one of several stars that could highlight this summer's absolutely loaded free agent class. KD, Kawhi, Kyrie, they all have those player options, which we expect them to exercise. And Klay Thompson here in Oakland, DeMarcus Cousins, Kemba Walker, they're all among the notable unrestricted free agents set to hit this market. Brian Windhorst, you know, around town here, everybody says, yeah, no, we don't expect to see Kevin Durant back. And that's certainly the feeling we got from Danny Ainge yesterday in Boston with Kyrie as well. What's your take?
Here we go, Sage. We have got a major competition for multiple free agents all across the country. The Clippers made a big deal at midseason to clear space to go after big players this summer. The Lakers have signed guys to 1-year contracts. They have space to go after a player. They have trade assets, including the number 4 pick that they just got in the lottery to go after another player in addition to a signing. Obviously, in New York, both teams now making their sights clear. They want Durant and Kyrie. And if they can get Kyrie first and have him recruit Durant, so be it. This move today, it was a major move from the Nets because they gave up 2 first-round picks, Sage. You do not give up 2 first-round picks in any situation unless you have a pretty good idea of what your scenario is going to be. The Nets acting not only with confidence, but with authority and saying, we're going to take on the Knicks and we're going to go after these guys. The thing I'm going to tell you is there's not enough players to fill all of these slots. Somebody is going to end up without a chair at this, and the team that doesn't have a chair is going to call the New Orleans Pelicans and go after Anthony Davis. This was good news for the Pelicans. The bidding will go up on him eventually as well, too.
That's the name that we haven't heard much about lately is Anthony Davis. What happens with him? And oh, by the way, the Lakers and LeBron trying to recruit someone to come to him. Good luck. Absolutely. This is going to be a fun summer. The game is absolutely on. Brian Windhorst, thank you, sir. Standing by with more here in Oakland. Also, KD, you heard at the top of the show, he's officially out for Game 4, so the question becomes,